Anytime. We're recording. Okay. We recording. You know, I just got that shit on there. Because I can always just edit. It's easier for me to edit than I keep just stopping and starting. But.
All right.
I'm going to speak up.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Looney Show, and today we are going to discuss a new law in Florida that is going to take effect. I have the article right here from WDBJ. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure where in Florida, but just where they're reporting it from. It's from a news station in Florida, and it says, this is in Tallahassee, excuse me. New Florida law lets parents opt in to spanking in schools. So that's the title of the article, and I'm gonna
Oh, snap. Is it only spanking it? Well, we'll read it, right?
Yeah. So, Tallahassee, Florida. Some Florida parents can now permit schools to use corporal punishment on their children. A new state law allows families to opt into the practice, but only if their school district permits it. Okay, which makes sense. I figured it was going to be district to district. Mm-hmm. Florida is now one of 14 states that still allow corporal punishment in public schools. Under the law, school districts that allow corporal punishment must adopt a formal policy approved by the school board. Okay. Parents can then choose to sign a consent form authorizing school staff to use it. Katie Becker, who leads Parenting Matters, a nonprofit that supports families across the Suncoast, believes corporal punishment is harmful. We have evidence and research showing corporal punishment adversely affects a child's future outcomes, Becker said. Mm-hmm. Our goal for childhood isn't just to survive it, it's to thrive within it. Mm-hmm. Critics want Florida to join the 33 states that have banned the practice entirely. But State Rep Dana Trabulsi, who sponsored the bill, said lawmakers weren't ready to take that step this year. Uh-huh. This is kind of a compromise, Trabulsi said, keeping it but still allowing it for those that want to. Yep. Trabulsi said the new law also tightens oversight, requiring clear rules for how it's administered and how parents are notified. Okay. According to the Florida Department of Education, corporal punishment was used more than 500 times in 17 districts during the 23-24 school year. Okay, and that's the end of the article.
Okay.
So it's very short.
Very short.
Yeah, very short. Which which is fine. It was that was all the information that was there. Corporal punishment. It's when I hear corporal punishment, it kind of reminds me of like some of those movies in the 80s and 90s where those kids would go to the boarding schools. Yeah. That's what it reminded me of, some of those movies. Like Dead Poets Society. Yeah. That kind of thing. And so that's what I think about when I think about corporal punishment. I feel like it's usually done in more like boarding or private schools. Yeah. Now, obviously they're giving it, obviously it's a district to district, state to state thing. Florida's not alone in this.
I ain't know Florida wasn't alone in this, but that's something.
Yeah, that's interesting that 12 other states are like that. To be honest with you, I'm not so sure how that's going to work. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm saying this from the educator standpoint. Yeah. The educator standpoint in me is like, okay, so not only am I underpaid, but now
I gotta discipline your kid.
Now I have to discipline your child if you opt into this. Yeah. And the thing is, the blowback for me is, I feel like most of the educators are not going to be down with this. Like a good 80% of them are not going to be down, maybe even more. Yeah. And they have all these other issues, to deal with. And I just feel like it's adding more. I feel like it adds more responsibility for the educator versus the parent. Yeah. And it's like it was like it really blurs a line. Yeah. Between parenting, teaching, discipline, because both teachers and parents discipline. It's different though when you're a teacher. When you're disciplining kids K through 12, it's completely different. Oh, you have something to say? Go ahead.
Well, you want to speak on the educator's point of view. I would like to speak on the Black Americans' point of view with dealing with our systems. Now, number one, they said it's based off of district to district. I need to know what districts approve of it. Because if it's more of the urban districts than the other districts, it seems like it's more of a discipline on our children. And we know how the system like to criminalize our children.
Absolutely.
So that is a big concern, especially in a state like Florida that has shown a lot of prejudice when it comes to majorities. So that is my concern, that when you come up with certain laws, I have to think about how it's going to affect our people, because a lot of the time these laws are aimed towards our children and not so much as theirs. When, if that's the case, it should be a unison approval than district based. And that is my only concern. That is one of my concerns. Two, I do believe that discipline should be left up to the parents.
Agreed.
But I have to also think about the stress and requirement and responsibility as parents that we have. Our generation, most of the parents, we have to work hard. We're out of the home, or we're working 40 hours plus, probably one possible parent in a household. Those things affect the discipline in the kids and the care of the kids. And we can't necessarily blame the parents, because our society doesn't allow us to be at home, because we have to take care of our responsibilities, such as housing, clothing, and feeding our children. And a lot of the times, urban parents are the ones that most likely aren't in the hospital, don't have the income to really put into the care of their kid, and it's kind of left up to the school's responsibilities. So that also has an effect in the discipline of our children. I don't really know how I feel, because I do feel like when it comes to discipline, this generation, we are really lacking in discipline. Now, it is a difference between abuse and disciplining a child.
Amen.
There's a complete difference.
Amen.
Okay, and it is now, since we kind of grouped them, is such a separation into discipline and abuse. And I think we lapsed on the discipline because of forms of abuse that were committed to children.
Yes.
And I do believe children do need a discipline structure, because nowadays we are starting to see children, not just urban kids, but children of all races, don't respect authority, and that's a problem. That's a problem. Now, like I was saying, I have a problem because little Timmy can do something that they should be disciplined for, and they possibly won't get it. But Jaquan could do the same thing and will probably be disciplined hardly. This is how our system is set up. So I have some concerns about that. It's just it being fairly distributed. And I feel like if it is, I don't think it should be left up to the districts, that it should be a statewide thing, if that is the case.
Right.
Because I feel like that we will be, basically, our kids will be discriminated against and get more corporal punishment than other districts.
Yeah. And that is...
Because there's no forgiveness for our kids being kids.
Right. It's, that is an issue. And I did think about that. And because it's just like, granted, this is like, now with this particular thing, it is district to district. And the thing about it is, if it's district to district, that means that the teachers are also voting if they want it or not. So it's just like there's that. And I just and just like, to piggyback off what you said, it's just an easier way to criminalize our kids, because their first record really is their behavior in school.
Yeah.
And it's documented from K through 12.
Yes.
So, I wonder if, I just wonder how a lot of black parents would feel about somebody else disciplining their kids. Now, some black parents would not have a problem with it. If they're gonna be like, look, if my kid's fucking up doing some shit, whoop that ass. You know what I'm saying? And that's how some of them feel. I'm not prejudiced against those parents.
Yeah.
If that's how they feel, that's how they feel. I just wonder, what the ramifications are gonna be late down the line. If this is going to work.
Yeah.
Because, to me, again, from the educator standpoint, this opens them up to even more lawsuits.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they're already walk a thin line as it is as educators.
Yeah.
And so this, to me, it adds for this. It kind of gives them the response. It kind of not lessens the responsibility on the parents. I'm not going to say lessens.
Yeah.
But it does give them it gives them a little more leeway to worry about, gives them a little more leeway to, for parents to not be in control if something happens to their kids, because kids should be protected.
Yes.
Especially at school.
At school.
That's the place where you would think that your kid is going to be safe while you're at work and doing whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
And it really totes a fine. It was like if you really walking a fine line.
Yes.
Doing that, whether you're the parent or the educator.
Yeah.
Because what are you trying? Because it's like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to say? With this, and and there's gonna be a group of parents who are gonna be like, why the fuck is this even a question?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, a lot of parents probably feel that way. We don't know. I don't know how it is in Florida because I don't live there.
Yeah.
But, I can see a lot of parents being like, hell no, don't touch my kid. I don't, look, you can discipline them within reason.
Yeah.
But don't touch my child.
Yeah.
That's just, and that's just how a lot of them would feel. I know I would feel that way.
Yeah.
I was just like, yes, discipline them in the way. If they're doing something that's not supposed to be done, fine. Don't put your hands on them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was just like, that's my job as a parent.
Yeah.
If I was one.
Yeah.
If I felt like, my kid, I was just like, my kid needs to get whooped or needs to get spanked for this. Not because I was like, I want to, but because of the simple fact, when you do certain things, there are going to be ramifications. There are going to be consequences for when you do certain things. And a spanking is way less than them going to jail.
Yeah.
Down the line.
Yeah.
And the lady that they were talking about that's against it. She even said it was just like, and she's right. There is research and there's all these things where says, saying that studies that saying what corporal punishment leads to a child, especially very young, it leads them down to a path of, almost no return. This, you're leading. I feel like you're gonna be. It's easier for them to get off that path and lead into a life of crime. Not to be dramatic. But that's what it pretty much leads to, because kids that are abused usually end up.
But that's once again abuse and discipline.
Yeah.
Two different scales.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, I think we need to. I feel like it needs to be clear, especially in the education system.
Yeah.
Of what is educational abuse and what is educational discipline.
Mm-hmm. Now I have a problem. One thing I have witnessed with looking at Florida, there is a lot of prejudice in Florida. So I have a big problem with possibly maybe white educators actually taking this too far when it comes to minorities
Agreed.
because of how we function here in America and how a lot of things that our colonizers deems as things we shouldn't do and bad, and how they like to punish us. And I do have a big problem with white educators punishing our kids because of their prejudice.
Yes.
And I don't really think that
Right, yeah.
if you are prejudiced in some sort of way that you can properly discipline children.
Right.
And we notice that with Florida, we have shown with arrest videos and online videos with Karens, there's a lot of prejudice in Florida, and I have a problem with white educators dealing with minorities.
Agreed. I
Because that's very important. So, me personally, I would suggest that black parents go ahead and take the proper caution of disciplining your child yourself, because if they have to do it, I feel like it'll be a harsher discipline on our children. It will be documented and it will be followed with them. And they will be deemed a problem child by the time they get to middle school.
Exactly. Absolutely.
If they want to do that, let them do that to their kids. Our kids, we need to take it as far as our community and get back to, once again, policing our community and disciplining our kids. I was speaking to someone today at work, and I said, well, the difference between my generation and their generation, it wasn't that Miss Hattie was allowed to beat me. It's just, I knew if I was around the corner acting up and Miss Hattie seen me, Miss Hattie was going to tell my parents. And my parents was going to get to me. Mm-hmm. And that's what we have lost in our community, because now we have gotten to the point where if our child does something and Miss Hattie comes to us, Miss Hattie needs to mind her fucking business, because that's not her child. Unlike sitting there listening to what is going on and what she have witnessed when I'm not around.
Right.
So that is the difference. Miss Hattie never put her hands on me. But I was always mindful, and my brothers was always mindful that someone in our community was watching, and we had to be on our best behavior, because if we didn't, our parents would then punish us. We have lost that in our community because we have gotten to the simple fact where everybody just needs to mind their business, not tell me what. And I understand how we got there because of the rapid abuse and not discipline. But we need to take it back to our community and handle these problems within ourselves, and not leave it to the government, laws, state laws, and definitely not educational professionals to handle our children.
And it's not, and honestly, another thing I just thought about,
What?
It makes it easier for them to demonize educators.
Yeah. And I really feel like, once again, I think that our black men probably should step up with this disciplining our children role.
I totally agree with that.
We're handling our children role.
Yeah. I was like...
Especially with the YNs. Because with these YNs, they're acting out because they don't have a male to look up to.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find themselves in a society that deems them from, once again, as their child, as a grown man, as a criminal. There was this study that had teachers sit there and view 4 kids, all of different races. And before any of the kids did anything, they asked them which student that they think they will have the most problem with. They always said the black boy. With that being said, they will watch him closely in his actions and interactions with kids, and when the little black boy would do certain things with the other kids, they will be more to step in and to kind of chastise the little black boy. This is starting from elementary school. So this study showed by the time they got to high school, they feel like no matter what, anything they did was bad. And this is what our YNs are experiencing. And the only way I think this can be controlled is if black men, because y'all experience the system, y'all have to grow up like this. If black men step up and educate these boys, let them know how it is, let them know how to handle these situations because y'all experienced it. Me as a woman, I can't. Because society has taught me as a black woman to strive over my black man. So I can't teach my boy that. I think the only way he's going to be able to understand what it's like to be a black man in today's society is from another black man.
Amen. Amen. And and you're right. A lot of the a lot of the YNs, do not have don't have that male, that strong black male figure in their life.
And I'm gonna be completely honest, because it is not to make it seem like women are less than. One thing, we all were created, and we were all created for our special ways to coincide with each other, to make us one. My half with your half to be a one. Your half is not better than my half, and my half is not better than yours. What we have, our qualities, is to be one, because without each other, we are non-complete. So just understand that I understand that a man's strength is different from mine. And that also means my little boy becoming a man. And it gets to a point when my little boy becomes a man, that me as a woman, I may not be able to handle him. And that a man has to do that. Yep. And I don't want to go into it, but if you want to blame the reason why our black boys is like this is because of black women, well, that should be a testament of our black men need to step up and take control at this moment. I don't believe that. I just believe that the blame is on the parent that stays and has to deal with everything.
Absolutely.
And all the responsibility.
Absolutely.
And that's where the blame is, especially with the kids. I definitely blame the parent that I see and not the one that's not around. So I don't believe that, but I do completely understand that y'all need to step the fuck up, bro. And ain't no more damn excuses. Ain't no more, ain't black women this, ain't da-da-da-da, because those are sounding like excuses.
Sons. Check your sons.
You need to get these boys.
Check your sons.
Your men, you need to handle boys, plain and simple. If you want to go into, and it's very important to understand the word alpha, because alpha is a head of a pack.
Yep.
Okay? You can't be an alpha singular. Once again, and a king is a head of a kingdom. You can't be a king singular. So I should not be hearing none of y'all say alpha and king unless y'all are taking care of y'all communities.
Yep.
Because that's what that is. And I don't mean to disrespect as a black woman or to talk out of my place or to make you feel bad. It's just at this moment, I am tired. I'm tired. I can't continue to carry the weights. I can't continue to carry the black race on my back and everything that is contribute to our culture on my back. I need y'all men to step up.
It's very important for black men to be there for their children, especially their sons, but also just being there in general for every single one of your children. Be there for them. Discipline them lovingly. You know what I'm saying? Teach them, show them why it is that this is wrong. What their actions could come to. Tell them that. You know what I'm saying? Show them that. we always talk about having a firm hand, especially in the Black community, with our kids, and we have to protect them. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is now, because we're protecting them the older we get. And man, these kids, it was just like, when I see these kids, I'm just like,
the respect for authority is just out the window. I was like,
no, I mean, a lot of the the parents today, especially in our generation, they're best friends with their kids.
Like, you can't even get a word in. You say something, and it's a constant back and forth, and it's like, what? Like, that's not how society works. You really think they can go to work and have a back and forth with their boss? No. It's just not possible. And for all you men that sit there and say, well, dealing with my baby mama is difficult, that's once again an excuse. I'm going to let you know I'm a great baby. I'm a great baby mama. And I have a baby father that was bitter because we broke up. And would constantly run me back and forth to court and all this other bullshit for my child. And you want to know what I didn't do? I ain't give up. I never said, fuck it, I'm tired of this shit. I ain't give up. I kept. You're not taking mine. I kept.
Right.
Both of us are damaged, and it's understandable because how brainwashed we are. To make an excuse to say you don't want to deal, you don't want to handle, you don't want to, those are excuses. And ain't nothing easy. And while you're taking the easy way out, I ain't got no choice but to deal and but to handle.
Right. Yeah. All the single parents that are dealing with it, man, I was just like, mothers or fathers.
Especially when it comes to your seed, the blood of your blood, the DNA of your DNA.
It's a lot. You have to be there.
First of all, responsibility is who you lay down and have a baby with. And if you do, it is your responsibility to that kid, no matter what. Mm-hmm. As a man. And
yeah, to be honest with you, yeah, I think we covered it.
Yeah.
I think we covered it.
Peace.
Peace out, y'all.